Absolutely. It's a gift.
Exactly, it's a gift, and
Mhm.
that's
And that's what
that's
we can start talking about that now, which is
yes.
if
Let's
you
talk
want.
about that. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about that. Let's go with
S-
a new way to look at trauma, man. And you started, talking about it, so keep going.
Well, I love it. And thank you for bringing that up, Timmy. It's beautiful, man. It's so true. It really is the game changer. It's what we push away. Like we want to push it away. So we were talking about that and how people identify as someone with trauma. We identify, and no matter where you are on the scale, let's talk about, say you feel unworthy, then that's your shadow, as many people will say, and but that's who you are. And it's too painful, if you're aware, it's too painful to go towards that. We don't want to go towards it because it sucks. So what do? We put other people down. We judge other people to make ourselves feel better. We do anything but to go towards it. We do anything. We bury it, right? So we drink alcohol, we smoke drugs. We do whatever we can to not feel it. And the irony is that that is the way, and it's actually a beautiful gift. This is trying to teach you something. And when you go towards it, you become courageous, you become resourceful, you become resilient, you become a completely different person, someone who is willing to do hard things, to sit with this. And this is where a relationship with a coach is. This is the crux of it. This is where it's so beneficial, you know, because going that route alone is very difficult and very difficult. And I'll say right here, I know I did it for many, many years until I had my own coach. That's when things really started to change, because to have someone to sit with and to walk us through going towards it. Oh, first uncovering it. Oh, I didn't even know I had that. Cool. Now what do I do with it? Let's go towards it. Let's not go towards it begrudgingly, though. Let's go towards it in a loving way. Not that we're in love with this trauma, but loving the fact that this is here for us. And you realize the trauma didn't happen to us, it actually happened for us. And when you start to think that way, you change who you are as a person. You're able to go towards it. You're able to sit with it, and you're able to go, oh, it's like that room, in your house or in like a scary house, and you're walking towards the room and it's dark, and you're like, oh, I can't go in. Your knees are shaking, and I just can't go in the room. And then you stick your head in, you go back, and then you leave. And then you come back to the house later, you stick a foot in, okay, and you leave again. And then next time you realize you're there, and you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I really want to see what's in this room. Oh, there's a light. You flick the light switch on, boom. Oh, why was I afraid of this for? Now, this is all, I was talking a week here. This could be 30, 40, 50 years of going back to that room, right? So,
It is,
yeah.
and I just wanted to um, gonna come back to the new way of look at trauma, but I think that's part of it. Even though it's maybe towards the misconceptions, but a lot of people believe that the only way to work trauma is to work deeply with therapists. I've heard a lot of people with that, and
Mm.
we don't have here again opinion about who is better or something,
We're not here to
but
debate that.
but
No.
it's a good way to tell me, Bradley. That's additional question we just came. Why do you think a coach might help with that and not? I mean, because I've spoken recently with a coach who was just that I help people with traumas, and she was saying that, for example, the only way to do that is with therapists, and I said that exactly that it's not necessarily like this. What do you think about this, and how is that a new way to look at trauma?
Hmm. Okay, thank you. So I will speak from my experience
Yeah,
with many clients that I've coached.
always.
And the power of a coaching relationship, the difference, let's sort of distinguish the difference. The biggest difference with a coaching relationship is that in a coaching relationship, the person that is being coached, the client, if you will, is in complete control of that conversation.
Hmm.
It's all about the client. They dictate where they want to go, and they end up having conversations and end up going places that they would never have gone before because they're leading it. They're driving the train. Whereas if you're in another situation, you're being told what to do, you're being asked specific questions, and there really isn't that dance. So in a coaching relationship, the coach is really there to support and really listen, and really, as the client is speaking, to really uncover what they are not seeing for themselves. So
Mm.
that's the real difference, and to really uncover those hidden stories or beliefs that will not get really, they don't become uncovered anywhere else, to my knowledge. That's the power of a coaching relationship. And so through that, then we get into real tactical ways to navigate your day, or to start to create a new reality slowly, by creating little habits to really start to move towards, now that you've uncovered it, how do we move past it? And then that's part of the dance we're going to talk about. I don't know if you want to talk about that now, or do you want to wait?
If you want, we can, yeah, we can just describe it a little bit now, and then we can go in depth later.
Great, thank you. So yeah, so what I was alluding to there is the dance is that, so once you uncover the fact, once you're aware that you have trauma, and then
Mm.
you realize, okay, now what do I do with this? Okay, I feel unworthy. So it what we shared earlier is that we don't want to identify as trauma, and that we think it's something we're going to have forever. So there's a bit of truth to that,
Mm.
because, and of course, depending on the trauma, but no matter where you are in the scale, it will always be with you. If you were always seen as someone who was small as a child and insignificant, that will always be with you. It's not going anywhere. But we can learn to dance with it. And how do we do that? Like I said earlier, we have to move towards it. We have to be
Mm.
willing to sit with it and literally dance with it and say, oh, instead of seeing this as a problem, we see this as an opportunity. Oh, here you are again. And so when you feel that, when you'll learn to feel that, all of a sudden something will come up, and you'll get that, you'll feel kind of warm, or you'll feel it in your belly, like you want to puke or whatever. And you feel that, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I know what that is. Oh, hello, old friend. Then you're learning to dance with it, as opposed to, oh, here we go again, another day of this. And right, that is not dancing with it. That is throwing it to the side and not dealing with it. But when you see it there, you realize you become the unity of all of your parts, your anger,
Mm.
your sadness, your joys, your elations, everything. You learn to become and love it all, because that's the human experience. So that's
Mm.
learning to dance with it, is really to understand what it is, do the work, liberate yourself with a coach to really get in there and realize that when that event happened, like you alluded to earlier, you were really innocent. And technically you needed to do that. You were doing what you needed to do to feel safe in that situation. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But ask yourself the question, how is that serving you now? You're 30 years old, you're 40 years old, you're 50 years old. How is it serving you? It's not. It's causing, look around you. It's causing all of this. I'm not where I want to be in my life. My marriage is on the rocks. My kids don't like me, right? Or whatever it is. It's like, well, what is it? Oh, and then when you realize that, you're like, oh, go back to that moment. Really feel that moment. Oh, oh, I see what I did. Awareness is so powerful. And then knowing what to do with the awareness and learning to dance with it, like you and I do, and many, many other coaches with our clients, the results that come from that alone are, well, priceless. They really, really are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to add here, man, that the new way to look at trauma, first of all, there are several things for me, like as a gift, as you said. I think Liz Bourbeau, I mentioned to you that the last conversation we had with you, that she's Canadian. Yeah, she's Canadian, and she
Yeah.
has a lot of books around trauma. And she says that actually trauma, actually, that's one of her messages, is that trauma is a gift given to us, which is helping us to overcome something, to go through something, so that we really learn how to, we can say, used here dance. She didn't use the word dance, but dance with it, and learn how to deal with the certain thing. She said that there are 5 different types of trauma, and every one of us has, some of them. One is the main, and but yeah, the new way to look at it is that to know that it's a gift, and it's given to us in order to go through that, through this lifetime, and also help other people to do that as well. Because once you learn how to do that with your trauma, you can help so many people. I always say to my clients who are dealing with trauma that that's a gift for them. They can learn, they can help many people after that. That's their
Mm,
purpose. Even you could say it's your purpose to go through this trauma and then help other people to go through that, because it's
mm,
painful and it's alone. You feel alone when you're there, and if you have someone next to you who know that you've been through that, that's priceless. So you might be priceless for other people, and that's amazing. And if you realize that in the moment of trauma, it's going to
mhm,
give you so much purpose and meaning, which is going to help you to overcome it. Because we know, Man's Search of Meaning, the book, it's related to that. And Viktor Frankl was in the Nazi
mhm.
camp there, and once he found meaning in that, and he was seeing that how people find meaning in this, places where you cannot imagine that you can find meaning, you overcome everything easily. And sometimes
Yes.
even with the song, right? You're a singer, so with the song, and that's the thing. And another thing, which is that the trauma is going to be eternal. Another new way of seeing it is that it's going to remind you all your life, maybe. And so you're going to either stay with that and you'll be afraid that it's going to come back, or you're going to be reminded you how you actually overcame it. And not overcame, it's the word, but how you learn to dance with it. Exactly
Yeah.
what we're saying. Because that's another new way of seeing it. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to overcome it. You
No.
just need to learn to
Yes.
dance